everybody to the events meeting for June. The first part of the meeting will be a public forum for a maximum of 10 minutes. If any members of the public wish to ask any questions or make any short statements to the council, they can do so now. Right. Yes, Steve.
Yes, Madam Chairman. I've got some rather deep concerns about the events from Holbeach Parish Council and Holbeach in general, effectively. We had a situation where we had a reigning monarch who had a 70th anniversary, which was the Jubilee, and we ended up playing on something resembled half-baked garden fete. What I would like to understand is how it was that this came about to have a event of such poor proportions, such poor planning and such poor execution, and is that in fact the height of the ambition for Holbeach Parish Council for delivery of Holbeach as events in the future, given that the intention is supposed to be putting Holbeach on the map in a positive manner. We are a long way behind where we need to be. In fact, we're completely upstaged by virtually every other small village around us. And can we not do any better?
Okay, I'll take on your comments. Is that your personal opinion?
That's mentioned to me by several different parishioners.
Okay. Personally, we have, as far as I'm aware, there's been no negative feedback that's come back to us whatsoever. None on Facebook, none via the office, and everybody that was there thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think the only negative comment we did have on Facebook was they came for the wheelbarrow race final at 3:30, but because we only had 2 entries, we only just did one earlier on. And that was the only thing. Everybody else has been very positive, especially the Beacon. That was extremely successful. Everybody was very happy with that. They've done press reports for both of them, and the Beacon lighting was receiving hundreds of likes. Everybody thought it was really good. Loads of people turned out. I mean, the Jubilee Day, yes, you can always make an event bigger, but you need the people to help out on the day and to help organise it. And the Crown did do an event on the same day as well. And that is one thing that would improve things if other people, the WI did as well, didn't they? But if you could get various different groups coming together to help organise for the same day, then you're starting to delegate out activities and you can make an event bigger. There's always room for improvement, but we didn't receive any negative comments. So
We actually got a lovely letter of thanks regarding the Beacon.
Mm-hmm. Justin?
Yes, I made no comment about the Beacon because the Beacon ceremony went off very well. No problems about that whatsoever. It was the event in town that was the issue. Is it not recognised by the Holbeach Parish Council that the issue is not so much that these events can't be put on, but it can't be put on all the time. You haven't got people put on the same rope in the same direction at the same time. And the issue there is to do with the interface and relationships between Holbeach Parish Council and the various groups around us. It is a case of, do we have a desire to be able to improve on these events and make them bigger and make them into events that are going to really put Holbeach on the map? And in order to achieve that, we're obviously going to need to be getting people working all together. And is there a plan of how to be able to get people to interface with us, given the circumstances that we're holding in such discredit by the town in general and all the groups within it?
I'd just like to make the comment that I do understand what you're saying, but if other councillors were prepared to get off their bums and come along and give us a hand, it would make things better. But while it's only a core few councillors and their partners coming along to help, we're always playing catch up. No matter what our intentions are, you need more helpers. We
no,
can't
I
get
think
them.
that like for Christmas, we're going to go around and speak to all the businesses to see if we can get them on board to. I mean, it is meant to be, shopping day / other things going on in town. We did speak to the Crown after we had the event, and they're willing to work with us on other stuff. They would like to see you know, a similar event happening next year. I think we're open to work with anybody, to be honest. It is just making those connections and getting it all organised, because if we are the overall event organiser, then it just has to be that, you know, people would have to attend our meeting, feed in, and then we just need to make sure that everything's happening. But yeah, of course we're looking at work.
Yes. We did have a public meeting which we invited all schools, local organisations to. Was it January this year? Before one of our council meetings, which was attended, we did ask schools to help and do things, but there was a lack of participation due to it being half-term week. It's one of the reasons.
Can I just ask Tim, what in particular do you think was wrong with the event, so that we can build on it? What do you, I mean, I noticed you were there, and you were there towards the end of the event, so therefore, what was your perception of the event, and what do you feel could be made better from what you saw?
With all due respect, Madam Chairman, the issue, my heart does go out to you, because I have put on many events over the years, etc. I know how hard it is to drum up a crowd and to organise people and to get everybody there. It is very, very difficult to do so, but it's made even worse. We've got a situation where people will refuse to work with us for whatever reason, and it could be historical and whatever, but we do have issues with interrelation with other people. My main concern is to try to put Whole Beach on the map in a positive way that gives us the kind of profile of Woodall Spa or any of these other places that have these big events, that people say that people will travel 200 miles to come to Whole Beach, to go to a really fantastic event that we would do, which they already do. They come to the Beer Festival, they come 200 miles. Is it our desire to be able to put on events that are that interesting for people to do and are that level to really put Whole Beach on the map? Or is it a case that we're just going to be doing a tick box exercise for everything that comes up?
I think we're definitely willing to work and build on the events. I mean, obviously we've only just started doing events, and they do take a while to build on, don't they?
Absolutely.
You can't just have a large event on the first time. We're definitely willing to work with all the other groups. Again, like you say, it does take time to build those relationships and to get people on side, and you know, negative press around other things doesn't help build those relationships. But it's, I do agree with you that we need to be working towards that. It's the question is, what's the solution? How do we go about doing that? How do we go about working closer with other groups and, you know, and basically turning the negatives into a positive? Because that's the only way you get everybody on board. And it is the situation where, you know, we ask for volunteers. They might volunteer for a different event, but they wouldn't volunteer for our one. I suppose in the short term, it's what solution would everybody propose to put in place to try and start solving that problem? If that is the problem, we can't get people to work with us, then how do we go about solving it?
Can I just turn it around the other way? If a solution to this problem could be found, would you be prepared to work with others as opposed to getting other people to work with you? You appreciate the difference between that?
That's the difficulty, because if we are the event organiser, if it is under the Holbury Parish Council banner, so therefore using our insurance, then they have to work with us. If they want to organise an event and we participate and help with their event, then they have to be the event organiser.
Yeah.
And I'm
So
okay
it's
with
a different.
Yes.
It doesn't matter which way around it happens, but you know, we need to know what people want us to do. Are we there as a support, or are we there to organise things? And that's the difficulty at the minute, in that we have organised events, albeit there's not been many so far, and again with the Jubilee, yes it could have been bigger, and yes it could have been more of an event, but then quite frankly most people would want to stay more local to support their own villages for the Jubilee, because that's more of a local celebration, isn't it? If you're wanting a bigger event to bring people here, then yes, you need to think outside the box, you need to think of something that nobody else is doing, because if you repeat, then nobody's going to come, are they?
Fully.
So,
I'm fully on side.
Yeah, so- yes, but things can be improved on, absolutely. Nobody's saying that everything's perfect, but we are where we are at the minute, and we have to do what we can manage to do with the resources we've got.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay?
Thank you.
Right, so we go on to the main agenda now. Item 013 is apologies for absence.
There isn't any.
Okay, thank you. And 014 is declarations of interest to receive any declarations of interest in accordance with the requirements of the Localism Act 2011 and to consider any requests for dispensation in respect of pecuniary and non-pecuniary interest in agenda items.
Nothing from me.
Item 015 is to resolve to approve as a correct record the notes of the meeting of the council held on 23rd of May 2022 and to authorise the chair to sign an official minutes.
I propose.
Second that.
All in favour? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. 016 to receive a debrief of the Jubilee events. Well, I think we've pretty much done that, the discussion that we've just had, unless anybody wants to add anything else.
No, I just wanted to bring up that young lad who broke his arm on the bouncy castle.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to have bouncy castles in future, and whilst the kids enjoy them, we need to make sure the bouncy castle owner has got sufficient people there. Because at one stage there was quite a lot of kids on there that probably shouldn't have been, all at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's anything. His mother has said thank you lots of times.
Good. Anybody else?
No, it just seems to me that a lot of the negative comments that come back to us seem to be from the same group of people.
Yeah.
And they seem to be the group of people that have got a historical grudge against the council. Certainly the people that I spoke to on the day, and I was present for at least 7 hours helping, were all positive. And we got things.
Yeah, we did.
And
Yeah.
I really don't know how we're going to solve this problem of continued negative comments from people that have got a grudge. I don't think we'll ever do that.
I don't think you're wrong, to be fair, but yeah, you can only try.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward. That's the only way to do it, isn't it? Okay, so item 017 to receive an update on the car show. Right, so obviously it's only a month away. Our intention is this weekend to go through all of the people that have applied, allocate spaces, send them out the paperwork that they need on the day. Because we are pretty much full, we'll have to put something out to say that we can't take any more and we'll have a reserves list. We did meet down at the school, very productive. Everybody knows where everything's going to be, what needs to be done on the day. Just need to meet with Royals Jim again because he wasn't able to attend that meeting, so we're hopefully doing that in the next week or so. We'll be doing a lot of the setup on the Saturday so that everything is prepped and ready to go.
Marking out where everything's
Yeah,
going.
marking out where the different car bays are going to be and where the trade stands are going to be, so that it's just a matter of literally directing them in the direction they need to be on the day.
So you're going to want some volunteers out on the Saturday as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we won't need many because we can, most of it is fairly easy prepped.
Okay,
The caretaker from the school is going to be there
lovely.
and prepping from his side.
Yeah.
Royals Gym are going to be there prepping from their side on the Saturday, so that on the Sunday morning from 8 o'clock it is literally just getting people in.
And the toilets,
Toilets are ordered.
Yeah.
they're coming on the Saturday or the Sunday?
2 are coming on the Saturday and the final one's coming on the Sunday morning. We've now got confirmation that we can use the UAH field for visitor parking, because then it connects, the two fields connect with a Yeah,
Okay,
there's an access,
Pedestrian access.
Okay.
pedestrian access there.
that's good.
So then at least they can park there and literally walk through.
Yeah,
So that'll be a lot easier than having to walk all the way around. And
Yeah.
it'll stop people parking down Boston Road, considering that obviously it's still going to be the road closure.
yeah,
And there won't be any parking much at all at the school because it will all be taken up with people that are helping, and so that's been confirmed. I think at the minute we are around about 185-ish, 190
wow,
people that are booked. Some of those will drop out last minute, they always do, but then if we've got reserves, then we can
Yeah.
add those in. Again, we'll be contacting all of the trade stands as well, and we'll put out something to everybody that is taking money on the day, and just saying to them that though we're not charging them to come in, any donation that they'd like to give from their takings after the day will be gratefully
We got
received.
quite a lot of donations last year, didn't we?
We did. And the sponsors from last year I've spoken to them this morning, they've agreed to sponsor again this year, which will cover the costs of the raffle prizes for the track days. So therefore, then whatever we make will be money to go towards offsetting any other costs that we
Yeah.
have. The only other thing that we do need to do, which I have looked at, is trophies need to be ordered, and the ones that I'm looking at would come to a total of £48. And also, because of the two areas for parking, if we can get some of the cheap correct signs and get those printed up so that it's easy from the A17 for people to know where they need to go for various things.
Is Boston Road going to be reopened?
No. So everybody will have to come off the A17, which is fine because
Yeah.
the school's that end, and
Yeah.
actually it makes more
It
sense.
does.
Rather than having everybody coming down Boston Road. So I think that the same company that does the trophies also print signs, and they can do them, I think they work out about
Was it £8?
£8.95, I think, per sign.
And it was 18 inch by 24 inch,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
So while we're doing the order, if you're happy for me to do that, so in total I would say we'll probably spend £100 on everything, and that will be everything finished then.
But the
Yeah,
signs
fine.
will be reusable.
Yeah, so there'll be ones that we can use for each year,
yeah.
so
I presume we'll want somebody to go out and
we'll
place
get,
them.
yeah, we'll get them done on the Saturday.
Yeah,
That's not an issue. So I think that's pretty much where we're at with
Good.
everything.
I just tried to apply for the tens today.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And I just had an email back to confirm receipt, so.
So all we've got left to do is just do the last bits of risk assessment.
Notification, that's what I'll do that tomorrow.
Mhm.
Well, if you need to hang on for that, you just liaise.
Yeah.
We get that sorted. And risk assessment, we just need to get that done so we can,
Done it in draft, I've
Yeah.
just got it iterated.
and then we can send it to the school as well,
Yeah.
so that they've got a copy of it. Yeah, I can't think of anything else on that one, other than,
if you want to sign in the UAH car park saying, go this way for pedestrian access.
yeah, we can,
Oh, yeah.
we could just print those off for that, to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
fair.
Nominate them.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
nominate those, that wouldn't be,
I'm just thinking if people are coming.
yeah, so they can see where.
Because they're
they
going to
go.
have, got the vehicle access gate onto the UAH
Yeah.
field. They're going to open that,
Oh, okay,
so then they just drive onto the field, because then that'll be.
And then they can park all the way down the end.
right.
Yeah.
The lady that volunteered last year to help with events, I've contacted her and she is interested in still helping. So I'll give you her email, and then if you can send her the policy, and then I'll meet with her and just go through everything. And I think the best thing we can do, because it's going to be quite tight on the morning, to make sure everything is sorted, once we know who's available, if we meet up maybe on the Friday and just go through who's going to be at what point,
Yeah, yeah.
so that everybody knows what their role is when they get there.
Has anybody thought about disabled people in wheelchairs, if they're going to park at UEH?
There will be a
There's
couple of
disabled,
spaces
yeah.
at the
Okay.
school,
All right.
so we could keep those available.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, realistically, the front car park of the primary school and the staff car park could be for trades and disabled access and stuff like that, couldn't it?
And you could use it as a drop-off point as well for
Yeah.
disabled, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Good.
So we can sort that out. Yeah, I think that's everything. I don't think there's anything else.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, are you happy if I draft a press release to sort of say,
Yeah.
if I draft it and then I'll ping it
Yes.
through to PR,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fine.
just so that we can start to get it out there,
Mhm.
and then we'll get the rest of the posters and things printed up and they'll go out next week.
And update Facebook.
Yes, I need to update it.
Yeah.
I'm doing that since all that.
Tog third website.
Yeah.
Anybody got any questions on that one?
No?
Okay. Item 018, receive an update on the Remembrance Parade.
Same as before, because we're still waiting to know if we've got the road closure yet, haven't we?
Yeah, till beginning of August.
Is that the earliest they're going to tell us?
That's when
I thought they said
LCC
July.
said,
Well, they put it back in.
they said originally August, then they said July, and then August is normally when they do.
Right. Just wondered if we could send them a chase and email them.
The Royal British Legion in Holbeach was disbanded
Yes.
by the county chair, and they had a meeting last week to see if they could reorganise, but I haven't heard anything
Okay.
since. I will,
But we've got contact details for the
yeah,
county chairman, haven't we?
the county people, so
Yeah.
it's not a problem. It's
Good.
organising.
Mhm.
When we have our next meeting with Shireen from the church, it might be worth mentioning, have you already mentioned to her?
I've spoken to her,
Just so that she's got heads up.
yeah,
That's likely
she's,
to be.
she's very aware that we are not sure of timings, but she's going to work with us, it's not a problem.
Good, that's nice of her.
First and foremost.
All right, so item 019, Jubilee Garden. Item A, to resolve to agree the format of the opening. The date we agreed was the, whatever it was.
28th of August.
28th of August, yeah.
Saturday, was that
Saturday.
bank holiday?
Oh, Saturday, was it?
27th.
Yeah,
27th, sorry.
27th then.
Yeah.
What time are we thinking? Afternoon?
I would have said afternoon.
Yeah, I'd be saying afternoon, early evening, to be honest, really. Because the
Sort of
park's going to be
mid-afternoon
open.
through into the early evening?
Yeah,
So what, 2?
yeah,
2 o'clock?
That sounds all right for me.
yeah.
Till what sort of time?
Couple of hours. Sufficient, isn't it? Depending on what else you're going to do then.
Well, yeah, I suppose it
Depends on
depends what you're
what
going
you're
to do. Because you wanted, I suppose you could sort of transition it, so from 2 till whatever, you could have a bit more family activities going on. And then later on you could have
You
your
could have-
music and your bar and things like that.
You could have a bit of an open mic type thing.
Because
or-
the idea is to showcase the stage area, isn't it, to, you know.
Right, include it as a picnic in the park day.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
the ground
actually,
opening
could
out.
do, yeah. Because if we can
Because
get
people are
the
using it for picnics now, aren't they?
the new picnic benches in there, I
Yeah.
said to the parks team about starting to put them in ready for that
Yeah,
date.
yeah.
But yeah, you could do.
Yeah, so if we aim it as a opening with picnic in the park with,
Bring your own picnic, obviously.
yeah, bring your own
Yeah.
picnic. We could have some sort of food stand there, but
Mhm.
because it's bank holiday weekend, you're probably going to struggle to
Yeah,
get anybody to
Mhm.
provide anything, but we can ask and see if there's anybody who wants to
Well, you've
come.
got a lot of food stalls at the car show, so we could nabble them then and
There's
see
one,
if they're
there's
available.
another local one that contacted, so we could ask them.
Yeah,
And when they get the toilets cleaned and open, won't
yeah. They're going to be opened anyway for the summer
it?
holidays.
Yeah, I'm just thinking then you clean it all.
Yeah, they will be cleaned again.
And then we could probably, could we do something around the idea of the art thing at the same time that day?
Yes, Yeah.
introduce the new graffiti wall bit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we agreed that we would look into doing some street art on the fence. Didn't
Yeah, we do, yeah.
So if we've already prepped people ready and
Mm.
asked people to come and talk to us about what they want to do,
Yeah, yeah.
they
Street art
could
going on
do
the same
street
time.
art on those panels
But
on
we-
that day, couldn't they?
When we met with the lady from Lincolnshire Police on Monday,
Mm.
we did say about turning part of that into like a graffiti wall
Mm.
to encourage them to go down there.
Where you can just do it.
Open spaces weren't, were they?
Not graffiti, but I mean, street art, we've already agreed it.
Yeah, we've got
Yeah,
the
but then
street art,
if you were going to do, if the idea was that people could have a go on the day of the event, it would be supervised
Yeah.
at the time. So it's not like they're just going and doing whatever.
I think the reason it came
You
up
can
as
always
a
write it
graffiti
over
wall
it,
was
yeah.
because it would encourage them from graffiti in the toilet block. And like in Pinchbeck at the moment, they're having a huge problem with graffiti on headstones.
Yeah.
Massive problem they're
Mm.
having. And we don't want to get to that stage, do we?
So if we did a sort of a day within the summer holidays where people could come down and discuss, you know, if they're interested, we could put something out on Facebook, anybody that's interested in producing any
Yeah.
art
Because if they
or
want to do
whatever.
it more professional, we can allocate them a specific space.
Yeah.
But then you could have a space allocated for
We
people on
have
the
still
day.
got some paint in the safe, if you remember.
Yeah, you have to, yeah.
So we would have enough for people to have a go.
But you could put some artwork on the toilet block,
Yeah,
couldn't you?
because it'd be right next to Jubilee Road as
Yeah.
well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So you could have
That's
some
the way,
activities
isn't it?
like that going on throughout the day, well, the afternoon, and then you could have your music and stuff started later on.
Look for an ice cream van as well,
Yeah.
because if it's like this weather, then they'll do a roaring triathlon.
From the point of view of actually officially opening it, do you think it would be a nice idea to invite one of the tailors to do it, being that they donated all those bulbs?
Yes, I think it'd be a very nice idea.
Yeah.
Then
Because
it's the room.
they do a lot for the community, don't they?
They've
Not just here.
donated a huge amount, so.
Yeah.
And if we could invite all of the schools that we donated the trees to as well, because some of the trees that we donated are actually in the garden, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
So-
mine?
Basically, so a family activity day, so we
Yeah,
can have
yeah.
garden games out, they can have
Yeah.
picnics. We can see whether, again, if people want to do like an open mic idea,
Mm.
so they can come along and they can just
I
have a go.
know the Crown is looking at doing like a competition type thing.
Oh, so maybe we could work with them on that then.
Yeah.
Sounds good for helping us, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we could
But
talk to
he'll
him
have
and
good
see.
contacts for groups and bands and stuff, won't he?
Yeah.
So.
Just need a PA system, then, won't we? I know Karen's looking for one at the moment, isn't she?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
we'll come to that in a little while,
Okay.
but yeah. Yeah, so are we happy with that sort of format?
Yeah.
So it's fairly simple, it's not going to take a lot of organising, but it's
Mm.
just
Well, were
something.
we, that was the day you were having the yards out as well, weren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so again, you could have like a drop-off point, people, you know, for people
The
to stop
maps and
there.
stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
What time are you looking for the official opening?
I would do the official opening at 2
Right.
and then continue on from there.
So you're doing 2 slots, like an afternoon and then the evening, or are you going to count? Because we'll obviously need for the tens, we'll need
Yeah, I mean, we need to organise whether we can get a bar or not, and
Mhm.
music, but yeah, but music you would anyhow, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the bars got booked, because
If
it's
you-
now not.
I mean, what's
Sure,
the
is it?
latest time you're going to want to carry on till? Because it doesn't matter then if you stop and start, as long as we've got the
I
licence.
would
in
say
place.
no later than 7,
Yeah,
at the very latest.
14 to 19 then.
We could probably work, if we could work with maybe some of the local pubs and stuff, if they then wanted to have, I mean, most of that music is entertainment quite a lot at the weekends now anyway, but you could then say, well, if you want to move on from our event and go across to theirs, tie it in.
Could we also put a request in rubbish bins in, please?
Yeah.
If there's not, there won't be
Yeah.
sufficient there.
I had, ages ago, about 18 months, 1 year ago, I asked South Holland.
Yes, because
Because
they
they
took some
took
away
some away
from
from
Netherfield and they were meant to be giving
Yeah.
them back.
So
they haven't.
Yeah, I'll sort of.
What have we got in the budget for bins? I can't remember, we have got a bit in the budget,
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah, we have.
There was that fancy leaflet you had on your table with bins.
I don't think you want to be looking at that one.
No. But they were nice recycling bins with the different sections,
Yeah.
but
They were very nice bins, but, so money for bins. I'll get on in a minute.
it was only like 100 or something pounds, wasn't
It wasn't
much.
a lot of money, and considering the price of them, it's not. So,
It's definitely something we need for the whole park, isn't it? To be
Mm.
honest.
I was just trying to think about
bins,
where
repairs and
bins are.
replacements is £200.
Does anybody know anybody that works with 45-gallon drums that we could
Mm.
cut the tops off? I don't personally,
Yeah, because then
But
if you
they
put the
would
tops
work.
off and put something around the top to,
but yeah,
it? Be temporary fix at least, wouldn't it?
yeah,
We'll look into it, see what we can find.
yeah.
mm.
Okay. Right, so if,
So 2 till 7.
2 till 7, so who's going to do what from the point of view of, should we, are you happy to liaise with Sam?
Yep, I'll
And
speak to
see
Sam.
whether we can get anything from that point of view. And then we need to look at any food and whatever if we're going to provide it.
Mhm.
Janitor on to tailors.
Yeah, if you like to tailors and see if they'd like to send somebody to open it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then from the art point of view, we'll just have to gauge that and see whether that's a go or not, but we can do a prep day.
I think that probably would need to be discussed again at full council, because it's been discussed
Yeah.
and we allocated the fence.
Yeah.
But if we are wanting to do anything to toilet block and have a go session, then that might need to go up to full council, just to make sure.
Right. Okay. Item B.
Or do you want to, I'll propose?
Oh, yes, sorry.
So we're grateful, that's all right, yeah.
You're the next.
I'll second
Item B is to discuss and agree to resolve the works required to finish the project.
So, we want a couple of ton of limestone, don't we, to finish off?
We do.
Preferably delivered in big bags this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can drop them in the trailer and drive them across.
Well, I mean, if they dropped it literally inside that gate,
Yeah,
the access, the pedestrian access
Yes.
gate, then it's easy then just bar it over.
yeah,
maybe,
well,
isn't it?
definitely.
So 200 bags that we happy
At
for.
least two,
I
yeah.
thought when we were doing, we said that you could literally back the trailer up right to the...
If he's got a small pickup,
Yeah,
which then he could, didn't we?
yeah.
you can
Depends on how
drive
they're going to deliver it.
Yeah, so I'll speak to them
So 2 ton of that, we need the electricity supply connecting up
We
and
also,
an outdoor socket with a lock on it.
and.
we also need to measure up for AstroTurf for the stage area.
That's starting to seed itself.
But how knows, yeah.
That did come up in discussion,
It
didn't
did,
it?
yes,
And
and
I'm
there was
sure we did
some,
agree on AstroTurf.
Yeah.
Although,
I'm aware Adrian doesn't want AstroTurf.
no, but I
But
mean.
we said AstroTurf for the groundskeepers, so the maintenance is easier for them,
It's a
didn't
bit
we?
difficult to put a mower up on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you could strip it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
never looks the same though, does it?
no. No.
If it's going to be walked on and trodden on and.
Yeah,
And you don't want it to be slippery either, do you, if you're
No.
going to be up on the stage? It's not
Yeah.
really. And then we need some pond liner for that IBC container that has a hole in the bottom.
Did we discuss whether we would sink them a little bit or?
I think it'd be worse if you sunk them, because then you can't see it's there. Well, you can see it's there, but it's less obvious that it's there, so you're more likely to walk on, you know, you see what I mean? And yes, you could trip over and go head first into it, but
I think we
you
need to,
struggle.
we talked about putting like that pipe
Around the
Yes.
edge,
Around the
yeah.
edges, can we buy some of that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
spray, because that's not expensive, is it?
Yeah, and then you
The flame.
could spray that a bright colour.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then it's visible,
yeah,
because that would just finish off the edges,
it
wouldn't it?
will make it look neater as well.
Yeah.
Tidier.
Do you want to have a hazard sign?
We've already
We've put the
got
signs up,
Yeah.
yeah, on all the entrances to the Jubilee Garden, you've got a sign saying it's got water in it, please keep the children supervised.
So we've also got to make some more access points on that chain link fence bit, haven't we?
Yeah, but that's later on once DEFRA's finished. So August time, they'll
Okay.
start on that.
Yeah,
All right,
Because they can't really cut out anymore now because
No.
of the nesting and
Okay.
everything. So that is on the list of things to do
right,
for later on.
good.
So the main costs are going to be connecting the electricity and the limestone. So currently,
How many tons did we have last time?
5.
Five.
That was 180.
180 quid for 5 tonnes.
It's cheap.
It was really
Sorry
good.
about the ton, isn't it?
It was the cheapest place I found.
Yeah, they are.
By far.
Who was, who was it?
Wellney. Wellney Sand and Gravel.
Mm.
Forney.
So it's only going to be about 60 quid, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, they might charge a bit more because it's a smaller delivery.
Yeah, if it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small truck, it's often more money. But
I know for 1 tonne bags, he asks 35 quid,
Okay.
usually, so.
I think that's about what we paid.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem, I can organise that. Easy.
So we need to go out and get an electrician to come in and
yeah,
Good.
couple of electricians
yeah,
to give us quotes, because that's quite a run of cable, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
They need to run from the toilet block, don't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll also need to obviously see how it can connect in and whatever, won't they?
Yeah.
So we need to look at
Who
that.
would we ask then?
You've got Mr Lewis, obviously,
Yeah, and then you've got
JWK.
JWK, they're pretty good.
It's
Yeah.
Brown, is it the other one?
Browns,
Yeah,
yeah,
Browns,
so you've
yeah.
got the 3 of them that are all local.
Plenty of choice in the Harbour for electricians, whether
And
they
it's
turn up
really,
or not,
I mean, it's a
different
matter of getting the prices and then being able to do it in the timescales that we need.
thing. We've got to have a commitment that they do it before the opening day.
Because
Yeah.
what we've got in the way of budget left, Jan did a quick calculation and we've got about 1,400 left.
Okay.
So we've got enough to make sure we've got everything done. AstroTurf, we'll start having a look at prices. Well, if we measure the size.
It's not a big area, is it?
It's not a big area, but you want to go for
You need
quality
to
actually,
quality.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
eBay cheap and nasty.
So we can look at that.
And if you can get a permeable one, that would be even better.
I thought they were all permeable.
Not all AstroTurf is,
Okay.
no. Or not well enough.
Right.
Get a bit of puddle in some of them.
Yeah. So is there anything else we need to buy?
Don't
Yes,
think-
the water feature.
Ah, yeah.
That you wanted to have.
Yeah. It's your
That's
niceties
a
and your
nicety.
benches and your
If
stuff, isn't
we've
it?
got enough left in the budget at the end or whatever, we can look at adding
Yeah.
into it, can't we?
Oh, we've got the money that was bequeathed to us, which is going to go
Which is
towards the
the
bench,
bench,
isn't it? So we could
Around
look
the
at
trees.
Is it?
getting a bench ordered, because that would be nice to have that in there. Were we going to put a plaque on it?
I think you should.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think it'd be
Somewhere, I
nice.
think we weren't going to actually put it on the bench, did we?
I think it would look nice on the bench, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it could be on the bench or it could be on the tree guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good if it's behind it so that people know
Yeah.
who it was donated by.
It'd be nice
So
to have
we
that
need to
in for
look
the
at-
opening. So
We want a quality
We
one,
could.
so.
I know the relative, the son, the lady that paid the money doesn't live close, but maybe to invite him
On
to
the
the
opening day.
opening.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I don't think
So-
£500 will buy you a round
Do
bench, will it?
you want us to all have a look and see what we can find for that?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can get some
You
cheaper
can get the
quality ones
cheapy
for
ones,
like
but we
100
want a
quid,
nice one,
but we
don't
don't want that.
Yeah, you want
Could
nice.
we not just ask Robert Frost and give him the budget?
You
and
could, but
say-
you would struggle to get him to do that by the time you want it, I would suggest.
We can ask.
We can ask him,
Just say that
definitely.
this is the budget, what can you do for
Yeah.
100 quid?
Are you happy to have a word with him?
Yeah, we'll do.
And see, but tell him that it needs to be ready for the end of
Yes.
August. Because I know that he's very good,
Yes.
but he does tend to be a little bit slow.
Mhm.
When When do you want the limestone for?
Anytime.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy.
Mhm.
If it comes in next week as an example, I'm quite happy to go down there with
The
a
only
wheelbarrow.
other thing is, we have the logs there, but obviously they were light enough for people to pick up and chuck in the water. So that didn't work, but it would be nice to have either some stones or something, or if we can somehow secure the logs down and to be able to put them back, because they're in the toilets at the moment, aren't they? We need to remove them from the toilets before we open them, because the ducks like to step up on them to get into them.
Well, you've got to have stones in for the hedgehogs to get out as well. haven't you?
Exactly, so we need to think
Well,
about
there is, in the
what-
IBCs, we have put some bricks and
Yeah,
stones
I
in
saw
there
that.
so they can,
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
walked through yesterday.
but we need to have something the other side so that they
Yeah.
can actually get up
that's
and
not
drink
really
from it. So, I mean, it may be that we can just get them drilled and do rebar or whatever in them, I don't know.
Yeah,
Makes sense, doesn't it? And concrete the rebar.
concrete the rebar into the ground and then drill,
Yeah.
that will stop them.
Utilise what we've got.
yeah.
Because then the really light ones, then we can just get rid of those, but the heavier ones, if we can get them
Well,
drilled.
the lighter ones can go back to where they were.
Well, they can do, but then they'll go down the slide,
Oh,
which
that's
is
true.
what was happening before, so
Okay.
yeah. We don't want that,
No.
not especially when we get a nice new slide, we don't want that happening.
Okay.
But they can just go and be chopped,
Yeah.
can't they?
Well, if they're secured down, they're not going to get them all in, so.
Okay,
Can I read back the
yes.
We've got
The
it
list.
2 ton of limestone for me to organise on a small truck. AstroTurf, is that you, Sophie?
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Electric connection, pond, so I'll deal with the electric connection. Pond liner, put pipe around edges, make more access points once DEFRA's finished, couple of electricians again. Money amount left in budget's 1,400, water feature if enough left, get bench ordered and a plaque, invite the son to the opening. Peter is going to look locally for the manufacturer of the seat, something for animals, logs, etc., concrete rebar, utilise what we have. Yeah.
So I'll propose that that's what we need to do.
That's it.
Thank you. Item 020, to discuss and resolve to agree the details of the Christmas event. Okay. At the last meeting, we agreed that we would apply for the road closure from
4 to 5,
5:30-ish.
She's done it yet.
No, but we can get on with that now. So, obviously, again, we need to look at what we're going to try and do within that afternoon, but you will only have the area within the churchyard and the wider pieces of pavement to put things on that
What day did you
time.
say we were going to do it?
The first Saturday in December.
Saturday the 3rd.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, the shops need to be on board with being open, doing whatever they wish to do as an add-on, because the whole point is trying to get them to go in and spend money in there rather
Yeah.
than
We don't
spending
want
money.
loads of stalls and stuff, do we? 'Cause-
No, if we have installs, they need to be something that's not being sold elsewhere within the town, ideally.
Or chestnuts?
Yeah.
They always go down well at
Things
Christmas,
like
don't
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some craft type things maybe
Yeah.
that people, different things for Christmas.
Was it the Horse and Groom normally did the mulled wine stall, didn't
Yeah.
they, at the St Nicholas Fair?
Yeah.
Would they want to do that?
They might do,
again?
we can talk to them,
Yeah.
if we talk to individual
Yeah.
groups and businesses and see what they would like to get involved in.
Mhm.
Carol singers, are we going to do
Well,
carols?
they need to go back to the church, because the idea would be that the end of the event would be the parade through the town, doing the road closure,
Mm.
then into the churchyard,
And carols around
and
the
carols
trees.
around the trees, so the choir could then be part of that, if they,
We'll try and get the bells ringing as as well.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I'll ask
And if we can liaise with Nick Worth around the Christmas tree, because if we could actually physically light it that day, that would be really nice.
And the lights that are in the churchyard,
Yes.
that, I don't know, are they plugged in, just not switched on?
Which ones? Oh, those ones.
The other ones that still
I
hang
don't know
down.
where they work, but
Right,
we can
because
try.
it'd be lovely to have.
The new temporary
Yeah.
one.
No. There's ones that are string in between the trees, isn't there? Yeah.
They used to be lit up every Christmas, but I don't know whether they're even got.
Working.
Yeah, I don't know, but we can investigate. We can
Mhm.
get those looked at.
Probably can't afford to turn them on with current prices of electricity.
True. So we need to liaise with the church as to their part of it, because they will probably do, it's not the St Nicholas Fair, but they might have their Christmas fair within the church at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy's new lights switched on, couldn't we?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then it's a matter of going out to, again, the groups, etc., if they want stalls
Mm.
within the churchyard area on the afternoon.
Well, the guys who did that burger stall at the Beacon,
Yeah.
I mean, they must have taken hundreds and hundreds of
Yeah.
pounds because it was so
Because it was the
busy.
primary
That was-
school who, it was their
It was
barbecue,
their
wasn't it?
barbecue, but it was the
Yeah,
AGC.
yeah,
that did
that's
it,
what
yeah.
they get.
So that I'm sure they'd do
Do it
something
in
there.
Yeah.
And then if we can think about other
I'll ask
things to bring in.
Mark again about the cancer protection.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Because they sell company toys and stuff.
Yeah.
Or raffle.
Yeah.
We'll look at potentially seeing if we can do snow machine,
Mhm.
wiring something in like that.
We're aware of a business who's going to be doing a Santa, aren't we? That we need to talk to.
Talk to, so that they are coming to the
Coincide.
parade, but then the grotto is within their business. I mean, the format of a parade, as long as there's, I mean, we did talk about doing lantern, which you could do, but I think it would just be nice if you had different groups, the schools and all those, that they have, not necessarily a float, but they organise themselves, that they
Mm.
are part of the parade, and
Mm.
maybe they all dress up in a particular way or whatever, and
Yeah.
get them involved and bring them,
Mm.
so they can each do their own little
Mm.
thing, and then they'll do the parade through and do the carols at the end. Rather than trying to add in, because you can do the lanterns,
Mm.
but then you've got to prep all that beforehand.
Well, the only, it was talking to Transported, because I think they've done it before, haven't they, where in the church leading up to the event, they make the lanterns and do events with the kids to do that. I mean, you could, depending on what projects the schools have got on, they could just make the lanterns at school and then bring them and drop them off for the event, couldn't they?
Again, if we start talking to schools now and saying we're going to do this event, we'd
Mhm.
like you to be involved in some way, maybe they want to send some of the children with a choir or something or whatever, but
Yeah, yeah.
give them the opportunity of what would they like to get involved with,
Mm.
Mhm.
and then we can try and put it together.
Yeah.
Um,
Plenty of
so-
time. We started at the right early enough, haven't we? So.
Mm. It's a better time of year for the schools at that time as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we can try and contact them before the summer, but I suspect you won't get very far then. It'd probably be better to contact them in September when they first go back,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're all too busy with
Mm.
end of term and everything else now. You don't tend to get an awful lot of commitment
No.
at this point, whereas when they go back in September, they're sort of into the mode of
Mm.
thinking about
Mhm.
prepping for Christmas.
Yeah.
So if we aim to contact them, again, the WI, I know they'll get involved, AGC will get involved, Brownies will get involved, any other groups that we can muster up.
Mm.
If anybody's got any contacts that they know, we can
Just send out all the same,
Same letter.
we've sent out.
And then
every
if
other
we
one.
organise a letter to go to the businesses saying that this is what we're going to do on the day, if they've got anything they want to do or promote or whatever.
Yeah, I think if we send out the letter early enough and just say that, you know, one, if they want to do something on the day between X and Y, but also if there's anything in particular they want to see.
And they might want to stay open as well, might they?
Yeah.
Later than normal.
So again, if we aim to get those letters out late August, beginning of September,
Yeah.
get everything prepped and...
Well, we can now deliver them, can't we?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Because I see we've got to do a hair studio now, haven't we? Boston Road's now, it's now a hair studio.
Yes.
Polish restaurant,
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
new one opening in the old library, I think, as well. Some sort
Yeah,
of-
meant to
Yeah.
be.
You
Yes.
mentioned that, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a while now. So, we've pretty much gone through what we can do with that at the minute. We'll touch base with that each time now and get that.
Do we need to vote on the Christmas event?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I'll
okay,
propose it.
thanks Ross. Thank you. 021, update on purchase of PA system. Now, Karen's been doing quite a bit of work on this and she's getting very confused because there's that many out there, she doesn't really know what she needs. She did buy one, it's about 450 quid, something like that, which is the whole setup with 2 speakers and everything.
A bit like what Mark's got.
Yeah, now do we actually need anything that good?
Well, we definitely don't need like a mixing desk,
No.
do we, really? Because that's not gonna,
Might get somebody come down and do some scratching.
yeah.
Like they
I don't think we'll be doing any of that. We'll
From our point of
players
view,
on, not doing it.
the point of what we're wanting it for is for announcements at an event, isn't
Yeah.
it? And just to be able to play some background music,
Yeah.
really, isn't it?
Or we've got live music.
But if they've got live music, then they will be bringing their own setup, mainly,
Yeah.
won't they? Because like the live bands that we're having for the car show, they'll be bringing everything themselves. Because most of them have what they use and
Yeah.
they use it, don't they?
I like the idea of the megaphone,
Yeah.
but then how would you play background music through that?
Well, no, I mean, I did find
Mm.
these online.
Just, I know I can't say anything, could I just inject?
Yeah, of course you can.
Sound sounded good, it was my lifeblood 30 years ago.
Right,
I designed
okay.
all kinds of sound systems. You get what you pay for, just buy quality, don't buy crap.
Right, okay.
That's all I'll say,
All right.
just buy quality.
But, yeah, okay. Well,
You'll get a lot more versatility out of it, a lot more reliability out of it, you'll get the whole thing, quality.
one thing that I did find, and I don't know, I mean, I'll talk to you afterwards, Tim, but it's like a mobile unit. Because then, from the point of view, if you're in a place where you haven't got electricity, like at the Beacon,
You can run off a battery.
it runs off battery.
Yeah.
And it's what a busker would take out and use and whatever.
Mhm.
So, yes, okay, it may not be fantabulosy, but it's another option.
And what's the
Cost is
price?
About 180 to 250, depending on.
Well, I think you're going to have to go for a mobile unit, aren't you? Because then, realistically, if you are at places without electricity, you can't guarantee you're always going to have it. And there would be other people who would might need electricity. But I think that's probably the type of thing you're looking for, and then if you've got different options. Because like Tim says, there'll be the cheaper versions and there'll be the more expensive versions of everything, isn't there?
So, I mean, obviously we haven't got anything we can absolutely decide on, but if we need to really be looking pretty swiftish
So,
to get something in place, don't we?
yeah.
Well, if we all spend a bit of time looking around, then we
Yeah.
can put some stuff together for the next meeting, can't we?
Yeah.
We'll go for it then.
Can we utilise your expertise to,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Good.
So that one, we'll look at what's available and get something ordered. I mean, if the car show, if we haven't got anything, we do know that we can use the PA system potentially from Bouncy Castle.
Yeah.
Because he's got one that he uses for other bits that he does. So if we tell him soon enough, then he can.
He'll bring it one day for us.
So
Just going back slightly, would you want the bouncy castle man at the picnic in the park then?
possibly,
That
yes.
would be good, yeah.
Is he coming to the car show?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think we need to make sure that it's,
Yeah, we'll talk to him.
that it's monitored properly.
Yeah, we'll talk to him.
Because we don't want no first aid on the next
No,
event.
we don't, no.
Not the last two, do we?
No, yeah, I'll talk to him.
You can
So
take it for
we'll
us and
just-
jack it off to somebody else.
Yeah.
Cost me £1 the last one.
Okay, so
Give them a hand.
last item is 022 to confirm the date and venue of the next events meeting. Where are we?
June.
Yeah.
Something, an email's just come through that's irrelevant to events, so when we finish on.
Do we want it before the car show?
Yes, ideally.
So it'll have to be the week after full council,
Two,
isn't it?
three, four. So, want it before the car show?
I think it would be sensible.
So, what do you want to do? 19th to 20th? We're doing it in the afternoon now, aren't we?
Well, either of those 2 days works for me.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Whatever.
Actually,
Doesn't matter to me.
20th, Wednesday the 20th,
Yeah.
is right?
Yeah.
2 o'clock.
Because then we can go through who's doing what on the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually that'd be
2 or
easier.
2:30?
2 o'clock.
2?
Yeah, do you want anybody who's available who will be helping on the day to turn up to that meeting? or-
That would be useful if they can.
Yeah,
You'll need a list of people, won't you, Jo?
Um,
Contact details of anybody that you haven't
Yeah.
got.
Yeah, so I've obviously got all the normal faces,
Yeah.
which I guess will be there.
yeah.
I might be able to muster up another
Oh,
couple.
we don't know.
I don't know, I was still waiting for my remap date, aren't I?
Oh, yes.
So I don't know if it's
Yeah.
going to be yet.
Yeah, these, yeah.
Right, so close the meeting at 15:26.
Brilliant.